Hey folks, Phil Gallagher of ThrabenU here for another Pioneer video. Today's video actually started out as a modern donation, but we kind of made some changes. So let's take a look at what was originally submitted. This is from Chuck from my Discord. And they submitted a deck list very close to this. I think I mucked around with the mana base a little bit or something like that. But the general idea was to try to do an Angel Tribal deck list because Giada Font of Hope just got printed. The Flying Vigilant 2/2 legendary creature for 2 mana, and your other angel tokens, or not tokens, your other angel creatures enter the battlefield with a +1/+1 counter on it for each angel you already control. Not one +1/+1 counter, a +1/+1 counter for each angel you already control. All right, so like we're gonna make bigs, okay? And like it can also just tap for a mana, and you can spend this only to cast an angel spell. So the idea was to play a bunch of powerful angels, go to town, make them absolutely massive. And the deck that was presented here looked like a pretty reasonable deck. Fast forward to me starting Pioneer content, though, and Green White Angels, or Selesnya Angels, has been putting up a decent number of results in Pioneer, and I've started running into it in leagues. And lo and behold, this is essentially the same deck that was submitted for Modern, but because this is going to be a collected company deck list, we've taken away the higher CMC angels like Shalai, which otherwise like would be a very relevant shield. Lyra, which is kind of like our Baneslayer angel type card, and Sigarda. So with Chuck's blessing, I have decided to move this to a Pioneer video. I'm just now noticing that this is 61 cards. We're gonna let it fly. We're gonna let it fly. We're not gonna change it. All right. So what are we looking to do? For those of you who have played humans in various formats, you know that like Champion of the Parish is a very aggressive threat. Well, Youthful Valkyrie is the flying equivalent of that for Angel Tribal stuff. So between Giada and Youthful Valkyrie, we should be able to have relatively large angels. And there's kind of a lifelink subtheme in this deck. So Righteous Valkyrie will give us life whenever an angel or cleric enters the battlefield under our control. We gain life equal to its toughness, and gives a huge power and toughness boost if we have 7 more life than our starting total. Speaking of that very specific number, Speaker of the Heavens is something that is like a really sick card if you can get it going. You get to just poop out 4/4 angel tokens, and this also gives you a relevant turn 1 play in a deck that, like, until post sideboard games, is really not going to have turn 1 options. This is a deck that gets started on turn 2. And then we have a real neat triple white pip card, the Book of Exalted Deeds. At the beginning of your end step, if you gain 3 or more life this turn, you get a 3/3 angel. And for 3 mana, you can exile this, put an enlightened counter on target angel, and it gains you can't lose the game, and your opponents can't win the game. So, in addition to creating large creatures, gaining life, we also can just have an oops, I win button, where if we make an angel with a real big butt, like some decks might not have a literal answer to that card, and we will just win the game on the spot. And we have a pretty good, like, probably like turn 2, turn 3, turn 4 curve with this deck, where we can go like Giada into a 3-drop, into double 2-drop, or something like that. I think it's going to work out pretty well. And Collected Company is going to give us that end game reach. Although this is primarily an Angel Tribal deck, there are a handful of things that aren't necessarily angels themselves, like the Archon and the Speaker of the Heavens. I think that's all I have to say about this one. I am very excited to go ahead and hop into the league. If you enjoy this Pioneer content, like, please give me a like before this video begins. Uh, Pioneer is new to my channel, and so the analytics for it are not great currently, but this is a format that I very much would like to continue playing, so support for this format means a lot. And again, I am new to the format, so like comments are appreciated, especially if I am missing some important interaction or like I'm calling a deck by a wrong name or something like that. That would very much be appreciated. All right, let's battle. Okay. This is a bit of a weird hand. Like, I have this card, which is absolutely awesome, but I can only use it to cast angel spells. Which right now I have a few things that aren't actually technically angel spells. That said, I still think I will keep this, especially on the draw. All right. So we are probably playing against an aggressive deck of some kind. All right. 1 damage to each opponent and each planeswalker they control. 2, when you cast your next creature spell, enters with a +1/+1 counter on it. Exile it, return it transformed. 2/2 haster. Okay. So I'm going to assume that roughly we are playing against some sort of red aggro deck. All right. Yeah. Yes. I will play my lifelink creature that hopefully will undo the damage that I just took from that Temple Garden. Right, more bugbear. So, okay. That's pretty reasonable. It's going to be hard for me to get my life total up high here. That is a 3/3 version of that. I think that's okay. Like, this as something endgame that just gets to be a giant Baneslayer Angel sized thing is probably still going to be pretty good. Alright. Let's play my enabler. And no attack here. At some point, I am kind of hoping to get in for some real amount of damage with this card. Alright, I can make a choice this turn about whether or not I want to try to take some of this stuff off the battlefield. I don't think I can go for the double block on this into 3 open mana. But I could reasonably take this creature and make a block here. I think that's probably okay. Like, I have the end game life link. I have to get to that end game, though. Oh, God. Alright. How does this read? Can't lose the game and your opponents can't win the game. Activate only as a sorcery. This is the cost of Mutavault. I guess I don't technically have an angel in play. So, like, there is that as well. Alright. So, do I play the Bishop of Wings? I am taking 5-ish damage next turn, maybe more. I can play the Resplendent Angel and not really activate it, but I can trade that with one of these. I guess this blocks a 3/3 well. This is gross though. Uh, like I am absolutely not prepared for a double Eidolon start from my opponent. This will offset future damage from these creatures though. Afraid of that. I think I'm going to block like that and make it so that something that does a single point of damage isn't killing this creature. Something that does 2, we'll still do that. Yeah, I guess I'm hoping to draw an untapped land and Collected Company into something insane. Okay. Yeah, I'm just a little slow here. Collected Company notably costs 4 mana, which means I get around this. I'm definitely scared. Well, it's not crashing in with a Den of the Bugbear, so like they've got something else going on. All right, Coco, I need something sick. Yeah. Yeah. Brutal Cathar is fantastic. Do I just do double removal spell here? Double removal spell is pretty sick. Okay. All right. So let's junk the one with the counter with that one. Junk the other one with this one. I guess because of that specific scenario, I actually should have done it the other way, huh? That doesn't actually leave play, and if I did it the other way, I could have blocked the other one. All right. I'll eat that damage. Yeah, and then there's a Bone Crusher Giant. I'm at 6 life. More white pips. So this is just so incredibly mana intensive. And I will play a Resplendent Angel. I don't think I can play out another creature. I'd rather leave up a Mutavault activation. I think I am not going to try to become the beatdown here. Like, my opponent has red reach and manlands and stuff. That probably doesn't go well for me. I might lose this one for the order in which I clicked on the Eidolons. Ooh, okay. There's a Stomp. I lose one of my blockers this turn, and my opponent gets a 2/2. Alright. I might be in a chump block scenario. Yeah, I'm absolutely losing this game for the order in which I clicked on those 2 Eidolons. Right, let's do this here, and I'm just gonna go ahead and throw away that land for 4 life. Kind of accept that. My opponent just has so much here. Alright, yeah. And then there's the manland as well. So I can make 2 creatures here, but I don't make real headway. Yeah, I think I punted that one. GG's. Um, like, life still would have been bad, but I think I would have had a real chance to have time to activate this. Okay. It's sort of awkward that my opponent has a bunch of threats like Bone Crusher Giant at CMC 3, but I probably still need portable holes, and I can consider some of this stuff as well. Thing is, I think most of my stuff that's in the main deck is okay. I think I just kind of got a little overrun here. I think the portable holes to get me out of the early game will put me in an okay position. How many of these do I want? Like, this is I probably can't lose if I activate this sort of card. Like, it would require pointing many removal spells at the same angel if things are going my way. But if things are going my way, maybe I'm already winning for different reasons. Like, this is 6 total mana investment against a very low to the ground deck. Maybe I don't do that. Like, I had that card in hand for a while, but I was going to run into the issue of either not having an angel in play or in the first place, or not having 6 total white pips over 2 turns to do that. All right, I'll buy that. Yeah. Coco was really important that game, but it is kind of slow. I'm not sure what my other cut is. A lot of these things have life gain or are angels to trigger life gain in the first place. Coco's just so powerful. But it's... Oh, we're a 61 card deck? Yeah, I'll trim 1 Coco. That's right, 61 card special. As long as I draw a land, this hand is very, very, very good. I get 2 draws to draw that land. I'll keep it. But, like, I may lose a game of Magic for, like, reasons just totally outside of my control by doing so. Okay, fantastic. I don't have any reason to play one of these versus the other here. I'll just drop a Mutavault this turn. Righteous Valkyrie also, like, is not legendary. I can stack those up, and it will probably be disgusting. Alright, cool. And this is also a good card that I'm not going to play immediately. I will be playing this for the white side, though, because I have multiple white cards in hand already. Yeah, so of note here, this is another angel, so, like, it does not trigger on itself. But I will start doing pretty gross things next turn. Players can't gain life. I can answer that with a Skyclave Apparition. Mana's a little awkward here. I'll just go ahead and do it. Alright. Get out of there. Take the damage from the Pharasodon and crash in. And then the goal is to play another Righteous Valkyrie. And start just really doing gross things. Another one. That is legitimately annoying for my strategy here. They love you. The plan will become kill the opponent. That's not the worst plan. Alright. And you can just get +2/+2 until end of turn for a bunch of mana. Yeah, I guess you just have raw higher stats. I should just play you out in this instance. Alright. There we go. I have kind of become the beat down here, it looks like. And I have a lot of damage in the air. A whole lot of damage in the air. I think I do attempt to trade with this thing. Oh, this has menace. I guess that's fine. I'm good with something like this. Like, if I take this thing out of play, it's so good for me with double Righteous Valkyrie. Like, if you got some cute combat trick, you got some cute combat trick. Okay, and a Braid is fine. That doesn't actually kill my other creature. Like, I'm still A-okay with this. Okay, sure. A lot of resources from my opponent. I think this is just a send it situation. Like, I very much feel like I am in the beatdown role right now. Like, that is half of my opponent's life total. I'm likely to get the other half or very close to it next turn. I think that's probably worth the life loss there. Are we going to get a concession immediately, or is this game still going? That is my current question. Pain Whirler. That's pretty reasonable. Take that and go to 12. Again, like some awkwardness of portable hole here, right? Where an angel you control dies, get a spirit token. So if I animate both Mutavaults and crash in, 1/2/2 gets blocked, and I get 6 damage in. My opponent can swing back for 8. Or I can try to play defensively. Not really expecting a whole bunch of rampaging Phyrecidons. Now I know. I think I'm going to play this a little more defensively and try to do this over the course of a couple of turns instead. I take a little bit of damage from a rampaging Phyrecidon. This is probably a little safer, and just try to do this in the air over a couple turns. Like next turn, I have 4 damage in the air, plus another 8 damage on the ground. It's a little weird because like Skyclave can get removed, and then a removal spell kind of like deals with 2 blockers. All right, opponent is just getting in there. I'm going to try and... Oh, right, this is Menace. Awkward. I just don't want to take all of that and then just lose to double burn spell to the face or something. So let's try something like that. And I assume some nonsense or other is coming here. I just don't know what. A stomp. That's totally fine. Okay, there's the first strike damage from this. Okay, and there's the concession. Sure, because I have 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 damage in play. Or sorry, 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9 damage in play. Okay, so portable hole not necessarily looking as good as I thought it was going to be. Maybe let's ship those out. Let's get a Coco back in, and maybe some number of Archons in. I could also just play Settle the Wreckage. I don't know how many extra CMC 4 cards I want in this deck. I don't know, it seems like if I answer a rampaging Phyrecidon, I'm in really good shape. Just let my random life gain cards take over the game. Definitely play 1. I don't know, maybe Archon isn't really the play. Maybe like Settle the Wreckage is just more objectively powerful. This means I'll want to keep a slightly heavy mana, a slightly mana heavier hand if I am adding 3 4-drops into my deck. Yeah, that'll do. All right, what does this land do? Enters tapped unless you control 2 or more other lands. Okay, fantastic. All right, this time after I board out the portable holes, they have lower to the ground threats. That is what it is. All right, I'll make the early play that I have access to. And we'll see how much this thing hits me for. Ooh, no attack in. So they're just trying to deny the lifelink, which is totally reasonable. I don't think I want to be animating a Mutavault immediately. So I think I'm just going to use this turn to play a tapped Temple Garden. All right, fantastic. Didn't eat an end of turn burn spell to the face or like have this removed. All right. Bane Whirler is what it is. Good value for my opponent. They get in for 1. Settle the Wreckage is going to look real good. Do I still play a Brutal Cathar anyway to bridge the gap? Playing Bishop of Wings this turn isn't great because I don't actually have another Angel, but my opponent doesn't know that. I think I'll do that anyway. Like, this is Two-Face, right? Yeah. A red source you control would deal damage to an opponent or permanent. It deals 2... Ooh, that much damage plus 2 instead, huh? Okay. Rough. Alright, so this is effectively a 5 damage attack. I think I'm just gonna eat that. Actually, no. Like, if I block now, my opponent might be incentivized to attack with everything next turn. I don't know if my opponent is going to play around Settle the Wreckage. Like, I showed them Coco, so they might think I have that instead. Alright. I will plan on Settle the Wreckage in combat and hope it works out well for me. Yeah. Alright, they did not attack with this. That's reasonable. I'll still take my 2 for 1. It does give my opponent more mana, which, like, definitely is relevant. Now I can try to use Brutal Cathar to, like, end this creature. Resplendent Angel and Bishop of Wings. I think I'm going to Bishop of Wings and Brutal Cathar this turn rather than Resplendent Angel. so that I can Brutal Cathar again next turn, potentially. That feels good to me. Alright, goodbye for now. Or maybe my opponent will just nuke it immediately. And then we'll get the bishop in there. Okay, yeah, there's a stomp. Like I was not expecting. Yep, I was not necessarily expecting that to last forever. But my opponent probably unloads a lot of their fuel this turn. Like I gave them more lands to enable them to do that. All right, cool. Let's Brutal Cathar, try to take this thing out again. All right, and get an Angel into play. Cool. This is 6 to activate. Yeah, this is 6 to activate. This is unfortunately a lot of damage that is incoming. Oh, okay. I just lose the Resplendent Angel. These things being upgraded to like 4 damage spells is very rough here. And I'm basically just dead. Like I can kind of pretend that I'm playing Magic, but like this as a start means that I am in an incredibly precarious position. I assume that's what this is. Yeah, so that goes to my face. That's not technically a red source, which is why that didn't get boosted by Orbron. And now I am unfortunately in double chump block position versus a deck with burn spells. So I think I have to end up top decking like a card of Collected Company caliber, or like I'm just dead. I imagine I'm just dead regardless of what I draw, but there's worlds. That will not do it. I'll go ahead and concede there. All right, GG's. It was sort of awkward there that like the portable holes don't hit a lot of these creatures, and that's what I'm primarily using for removal. Okay, I will definitely keep this hand. I have to play an overgrown farmland tapped on turn 1, I think. We might be playing against... I don't think I play this land tapped, like, despite the fact that this has real text. Like, these enter the battlefield tapped unless I control 2 or more other lands, so I'm potentially running into worse mana problems later if I don't take this small sacrifice now. Like, mana is very much not perfect in Pioneer in comparison to other formats that you might be used to watching me play. So, like, sometimes you just gotta eat it. Oh, opponent does not have another land there. This gives me a very, very real chance to accelerate here. I think I am going to go ahead and play my mana ramp card. That lets me double spell easier next turn. Although, like, there's very much a world where I'm supposed to just jam this card and put counters on it and try to murder my opponent that way. Okay. Yep, that's fine. Like, my mana is okay now. So there's various ways to sequence this. I think I'm going to get the bishop active and the speaker going and try to turn this into an angel machine. Getting countered. Oh, we are eating a lightning axe. Okay, that's reasonable. Brutal Cathar is an okay way of answering a phoenix. It's better at answering a thing in the ice than it is a phoenix. But with my opponent stumbling on mana here, things are looking okay for me. All right. So, play Valkyrie. That's set on the stack for a very long time. So I'm not 100% sure what my opponent has here. Yeah, sure. What is Strangle? 3 damage, target creature, planeswalker. Oh, that's what my opponent used before. Sure. All right. So like of note here, opponent's removal in their deck goes up to 5 damage. Oh shit! It's a Ledger Shredder. This card has been metaphorical talk of the town. I can send in with a Mutavault this turn if I want. I don't think I need to necessarily remove that card immediately, but I totally can. Maybe I just should. Like, there are other creatures that I would like to remove more, but there is something to be said about just ending the game, right? Because my opponent's deck can do very powerful things over time. Like, a thing in the ice flipping would be pretty disastrous for me, for example. My opponent kept a hand hoping their cantrips would kind of get them out of the situation that they were in. Okay, that's all fine. Yeah, okay. So they are a little unable to do their thing. It's a 2/4 flyer. And I tack in, but I don't really get anywhere. So we will play a book hedging for the future. And just as a reminder, this is only used to cast angel spells. It is straight up triple white to do the other thing here. All right. So I very much expect that my opponent will get their Arclight Phoenix this turn. All right. Pathway went down. Steam Vents went down. Owl went down. They have ability to copy something and expressive iteration. Sure. All right. Cool. I think I'm chilling. I'm just kind of like in this awkward spot where I have stalled out in terms of cards. But I think once I get one of these to 6 toughness, I'm probably in really good shape. Litter is fine. I don't have any like rest in peace type cards or anything, do I? No, not so much. Archon of Emeria is probably pretty decent. Battle of the Wreckage is probably playable too. Okay, we are going to continue the staring contest here. I think I just main phase this, and I'll leave open triple white rather than Mutavault here. Ooh, Skyclave's great. Honestly, all these cards are great. Get a Bishop and a Skyclave. Skyclave will send away Ledger Shredder. Back in with both of those. My opponent to 8. I might just sacrifice this book here and just make it so that like some temporal trespass copying bullshit doesn't accidentally kill me. All right. Okay, they do have the lightning axe, unfortunately. All right, I get a 1/1 out of that. That's okay. The book does have a sorcery speed clause, just FYI. All right, there's an expressive iteration. Is Arclight Phoenix third spell or third instant or sorcery? 3 or more instant or sorceries. Okay, cool. I imagine my opponent is potentially dead. I guess I could bring back the Phoenixes and use them defensively. Treasure Cruise. Good card is good. And another Lightning Axe. Sure. Ooh, okay, sure. I'll just take that hit. My life total's pretty high. So quick check-in. 2 of these things can be blocked. I could hit in for 5 this turn. Not really good enough. Multiple Lava Axes taking out my bishops has not been great for me. All right. Is my opponent going to take 2 turns in a row now? Yeah, they are. Fantastic. So this has 5 toughness. I can kill a Phoenix. It potentially just comes back next turn. Yeah, this is pretty awful. I guess I have to do that. I'll save the spirit token for a bit later, I think. Yeah, just gross though. Like the fact that this has flashback at this point of the game is also tough. Like this is also a problem. I think I'm gonna come up just a little short here in terms of finishing out this game. All right. Bye, Otawara. I was gonna get another Ledger Shredder, and like they still have another extra turn beyond this. 3 mana extra turn cards are fair, right? Like that's just totally fine. Yeah, it feels totally fine to me. And then yeah. All right. So I think I play Archons and Deafening Silence. Portable Hole doesn't do anything against Phoenix, but does things against Thing in the Ice and Ledger Shredder. So like I'm ending up in this same position again where like my removal spells, like the Portable Hole feels awkward. Is that all the wreckage sent to the bottom of the library? Exiles. Okay, exiling the Phoenixes sounds good. All right, so I have 8 cards I can board in. Assuming Thing in the Ice is part of the plan, I don't think I can rely on this. And it seems like my opponent is really prioritizing taking out these bishops. I have not really gained life in these last couple of rounds. I also don't want to cut my angels too much, or like things like Youthful Valkyrie start to feel bad. Uh, like, am I supposed to cut Skyclave apparitions just because like my opponent has all of these red removal spells that just make it like kind of feel bad? Same question for Brutal Cathar. Maybe I need to cut some number of these. I probably can't cut all of them. Maybe I'll just trim one of these. I could maybe trim more Speaker of Heaven. I need another land here, but I have reasonable tools at my disposal. I don't have access to white, and I won't have access to green mana. Although I guess I could play Mutavault on turn 1 and delay this decision for a turn. Alright, I will play the Mutavault to try and delay my decision for a turn cycle. Alright, what do you got for me? Nothing initially. I don't mind that at all. That gives me the possibility of double spelling easier next turn. Although, like, double spelling is still a little tough here. But, like, this is also fixing for my second white mana, so I'm good with it. Okay, there's the thing in the ice. When do I play Brutal Cathar? I just play the Archon now. It's just so good. And I'll bash in for some damage. It does make my whole idea of double spelling feel a little sillier. Right. Unfortunate. Not really going to break opponent's stride there. Okay, sure. I potentially take a bunch of damage if I don't. No, actually, I guess I don't, right? I can play Deafening Silence and Youthful Valkyrie. And my opponent can only... it's each turn, they could do an end step 1, and I could eat 7 damage for it. Oh, it's so awkward. Alright, I don't think I can risk 7 damage here. Alright, get out. And hopefully that's my opponent's only threat, and I get a couple turns from here to get Deafening Silence and some other things set up. That is not their only threat. There's an Arclight Phoenix, which might be coming into play immediately. Okay, tapped land is good. Alright, fantastic. I can go ahead and play and resolve a Deafening Silence, and then get a Youthful Valkyrie in there that can grow. And I assume that my opponent can't really take this out of play. And now I just need to find a way to answer that thing in the ice. Alright. All Team Vents, Ledger Shredder into Graveyard. Okay, cool. So my opponent can play a spell on my turn, play a spell on their turn, and flip this thing. There's not too much I can do about that. Throw my creature, get in there for a little bit of damage. Drop my opponent to 16. Vomit another creature that's probably boomeranging back to my hand. Yeah, so that triggers on Angel or Cleric, which is nice. And yeah, there's a first card for Thing in the Ice. And my opponent will unsummon all my duders. Oh, that was the Consider, so they still have an Opt. Yep. I'm slowing my opponent down, but like the Awoken Horror is still a 3-turn clock that I don't have a real answer for currently. Okay, and then opponent has a Ledger Shredder. Yeah, this deck feels just so very efficient. You can use this to gain life, but it's better on like a double spell turn. May end up just like chump blocking this, but my opponent can use removal to get a lot of stuff out of the way. And let's maybe attempt that still, though. I would be very happy to get a chump block in with Speaker of Heaven to try. This is a player? Absolutely fuck me. Alright. That card's good. This is the first time I've actually seen it in play. I think this is probably the end for me. Like, that Hall of the Storm Giants is sitting there, so, like, I don't think my Deafening Silence is doing enough. Yeah, I think I'm comfortable throwing in the towel there. Ugh. Alright, I'm gonna keep my opening hand for this round. What I'm noticing so far is against these decks that are consistently removing my creatures so that I can't, like, snowball my tribal advantage, I'm having trouble. So I think if I actually get established and going, I'll be okay, but my opponents have just, like, stopped me from getting a board that contains 3 or 4 creatures that, like, synergize together, right? Like, that's been my big issue thus far. I assume, yeah. I'm gonna lose the card with different text here. And now I just kind of need to rip an angel. This is angel or cleric, right? No, this one is angel. Okay. So multiple bishops of wings don't really synergize together, unfortunately. All right. I don't know what I'm playing against, so I don't know what to play around. Accordingly, bash. Yep, I just don't know what these lands represent. So I'll play a spell, see if it works. It works. My opponent's shocked for something, though. Draw 2 cards and discard a card unless there are 5 or more mana values among cards in your graveyard. Okay. When it attacks, create 2 4/4 white angel tokens with flying. Okay, sure. Don't like where this is going. Okay, what is this? Esper land. Okay, Esper cycle land. All right, portable hole is totally fine. I assume I lose the speaker here. Oh no, I don't. All right. I am not really doing my thing. Again, I kind of got knocked off like my tribal synergies yet again, unfortunately. Brings my opponent to 11. And I don't know how my opponent gets this out of the graveyard, so I don't know if I need to hold Skyclave back specifically for any purpose. I'm just going to take out that portable hole and get my bishop back. Alright, what is that? Mill 3, return a creature. Oh, fuck, Supreme Verdict. Alright, that's rough. So it feels like if I am playing against a Supreme Verdict deck, I am probably in pretty bad shape this round. I'm not going to just play out Naked Skyclave. That just doesn't feel good to me here. But I don't know what is coming from my opponent. Like, I assume there is some sort of reanimation effect of some kind. I guess there are worlds where I end up Okoing into something that gives me 27 life next turn. Alright, Faithful Mending. Another way to get this thing into graveyard. Okay, there's a lot of them in graveyard. Opponent's hand probably just got, like, way the fuck better. Okay, they're repeating the process. Alright. Opponent junked a removal spell there. Like, they junked a real card that time, so... Okay. I have lost a 2/2 for choosing to wait. That's okay. Grease Fang. At the beginning of combat on your turn, return target vehicle from your graveyard to the battlefield. It gains haste. Return to owner's hand at the beginning of your next end step. Okay. Alright, so that's the gimmick. Yep. So my Skyclaves are not really going to be good at removal because, like, that thing is just going to get haste, get crewed by Grease Fang, and I'll take a bunch of damage, and my opponent makes angels as well. They are angels that are attacking. Yeah, I think outside of hitting Coco here, I'm just stone cold dead. So, like, that gets bounced to my opponent's hand, but they have 2 more in graveyard. Okay. I guess now my opponent's gonna attack basically no matter what anyway, right? Okay. That's not bad. Go on a bishop for the life gain. I'll buy that. I guess there is still, like, instant speed Skyclave as a thing that technically matters. But, like, these 2 angel tokens that are around are still just gonna kill me in 2 turns. Like, I probably have to hit another Coco. Ugh. They're vigilant, too. So, like, my Beaker of the Heavens is not just going to go and, like, do its thing here. If I play a Resplendent Angel, how much life do I actually get from this? 4. If I can do a chump block and stay alive and be in the abyss. That doesn't feel good. One also just has, like, a bunch of empty mana, so, like, they could very easily... Alright, what does this do? Destroy target creature? Sure. Return target multicolored permanent. Okay. Counter target instant or sorcery spell. Okay. Reasonable. I am dead. Okay. Archon seems okay. Having to deal with Supreme Verdict here is very scary for me. Like, as I was talking about at the beginning of the round, I need many creatures to stick around over time to provide a real snowballing advantage, and I have not gotten to do that in my rounds at all. I don't think Book of Exalted Deeds is going to do a ton in terms of the second ability here if I'm playing against Supreme Verdict. I don't know, like the Bishop of Wings can give me some creatures when my opponent's stuff dies. All right, let's go down on these. I can play Shaper Sanctuary if I want, so that my opponent's Fatal Push type cards get worse. If I'm playing against them as a control deck, that's reasonable, but they do also have a combo finish that I need to respect, so I can, like, play Settle the Wreckage to try and, like, stop the Panhelions when they come about. This, like, combo control access is kind of tough. I'm going to do Shaper's Sanctuary when I am on the play. This will be a keep. So, I think, again, I have another one of these hands where I'm going to get knocked off of my synergies pretty easily. Like, the fact that literally all of my cards aren't angels, um, as I've really felt that. All right, do this, and then one of these do I want to actually play? I'm probably not double spelling next turn in most worlds. I think I'm going to just play the bishop in hopes of increasing my life total next turn to the point where I can start activating the speaker. Assuming my opponent has no blocker, I'm already effectively at 22 life. I can gain quite a bit next turn. Again, though, like, very afraid of a Supreme Verdict type card. I think I'm going to go ahead and take my attacks in before doing anything else. See if my opponent wants to use a removal or spell or anything now. The answer is no. Let's go ahead and do this. And then play out an angel for some life. Nice. Always yield to that. So the angel parade and start next turn is unfortunately 27 life that I am looking for. And this is, like, going to somewhat awkwardly put me, like, leaning further into a Supreme Verdict in a way that I don't like. All right, so there's the mending. And my opponent did indeed find a Parhelion to put in the graveyard. Yeah. And that means that I am just knocked off of dealing. Ugh. This is gross. Yeah, so this essentially keeps me from just easily activating this to accumulate a bunch of angels. That is not great for me. And my opponent can just flash this back to return that to graveyard to use this again, meaning I really do need to play this turn. However, that comes with the downside of, like, not gaining any life here. Super relevant because my opponent can attack me for 8 in the air if they so desire. Yeah, like, I get why Skyclaves and such are in this deck. Like, it absolutely makes sense to me. But not leaning fully into the synergy here is super brutal. And I am going to take 8. If my opponent gets me afterwards, they hit me afterwards. But I think I just have to keep all these creatures in play for later. Or sorry, if my opponent Supreme Verdicts me afterwards, they Supreme Verdict me afterwards is kind of what I was getting at. All right. All right, there's 2 of those things to the graveyard. All right, cool. We'll absolutely take a card. I got a Spirit. A nice chump blocker. And that 1 mana is absolutely relevant here. So this is going to be a chump block turn for me with that Spirit token in all likelihood. I think I want to play this turn to play this as a very large creature next turn. Also lets me play my Temple Garden tapped. All right, fantastic. Tapped Temple Garden. And we're chilling. Ooh, this is going to synergize really well, isn't it? Like, it's round 3 and I, like, have not really done the things with my creatures yet. So, like, this is going to give me... Or no, it's not life equal to its toughness. Oh, there was... Or no, it's this one that gains life equal to its toughness. I can't have one plan that works out. Brutal. I assume my opponent just bashes in with those. I'll take a chump block here, stay at 5 life, and then hopefully rip an Angel or a Coco or something. I need something here. Thank you, Mutavault. Very cool. Yeah. This is not going to get there. All right, so my opponent's going to crash in for 8. We'll chump block with one of my enablers, and then probably be dead. Life's bad. Like, totally ignoring the other stuff that's in graveyard as well. Brutal Cathar potentially keeps me alive. My opponent's seen this land already as well. Alright, so we Brutal Cathar. Yeah, not an Angel for my synergies. Alright, they're just going to loot in response. That's fine. Yeah, cool. Eat a token. And I guess I'll call it a turn there. I'm going to die if my Spirit token dies. I can do something cute and like try to attack with a Mutavault and like have my opponent block the Mutavault and give me an extra creature or something, but I'm going to try to play towards winning this game rather than not losing it and keep the Mutavault around as an actual source of damage for the point when I can actually Alpha Strike. But I'm not super hopeful here. It's got something else to end a turn too. Okay, that's fine. I mean, it's fine in that it's not actively killing me, but it does just like dig towards a card like a Fatal Push that's going to beat me. So like, there's that. Yeah, that'll do it. That returns the big bad ship, and I am dead. I would like this deck to do its thing at some point in this league. I've played against this deck. I've seen it do better. Oh, great and wise Avocado-san, what words of wisdom do you have for our viewers?
Remember that liking and subscribing are the easiest ways to support the content creators that you like for free.
Oh, Avocado-san, you are so wise. Thank you. All right. This is actually a little awkward, isn't it? In terms of the mana, because I can't Bishop of Wings on 2 and Spear on 1. I think I'll keep it anyway. Alternatively, I could Speaker on 1 and just take turn 2 off, but it seems to me like Bishop is more important to what's going on here. So let's play the Overgrown Farmland tap and call it a turn. Opponent took 1 mulligan. Okay, so we're potentially playing against like the mono green like storm deck thing. What is it? Storm of Invention? I don't remember what the card's called. All right, so I am pretty likely to not see a bunch of removal on the other side of the battlefield. So like, hopefully I like realistically get to do my thing this match. We also could be playing against like actual factual elves, I guess. Do I need to remove an elf? Or do I just want to like do my thing? I would kind of like to remove a 4-drop if I can with Skyclave. Take a risk and just like play this out. Like, I will gain a decent amount of life, so if my opponent is playing some big dumb stuff, I can remove some of that with Skyclave or like recoup some hits. It was a little more awkward for me if my opponent plays 5 drops specifically, but I'm not like the most worried about something like a Karn coming down because I can just answer that with Skyclave. A Meteor Golem. Yeah, that's okay. Like, it's fine, it's good. I'm not too worried about it. 7 more life. Okay, so I'm not gonna quite get there. I guess I could also kill the Karn in combat by attacking it with 3 creatures. And then save the Skyclave for something else. That's reasonable. Yeah, I think I'm fine with that. Go ahead and animate that. Send everything at Karn. That keeps my opponent out of chump blocking it to keep it alive. There's a real discussion about which land I should play here in terms of like multi-spelling for next turn versus an extra Mutavault attack. I think I'm going to play the Mutavault. Like, the Mutavault plays better towards what is already in play. And assuming that I can actually get to 27 life, my creatures will get larger, and that's pretty sick with Mutavaults. Alright, yeah, Storm the Festival. That's what it is. Alright. That's pretty reasonable. I guess to draw a card off of that, and that does have reach. Notably, it is also a 5-drop. So I don't get to just nuke that with Skyclave. Nuke the Kiora, though. This is not a cleric or an angel. I'm going to end up a little short in that regard. But I will go ahead and Skyclave and take out the Kiora. Do a tapped Temple Garden safely and call it a turn. I am 2 life away from, like, starting to do my thing. But my opponent might kind of put the hurt on me this turn. Like, I know they have a Meteor Golem. And that's going to be 9 mana. So, like, they can Meteor Golem away my Speaker or something. Like, they have multiple things they can Meteor Golem away here that will be good. Or they can flash that back. Okay. That's pretty good. Pretty good. And I guess Karn gets the Sky Sovereign. Absolutely. Okay. No attacks from opponent. This is going to put me to 26 life when I play this. 26 life. 26 life of the 27 that I need. That is a little frustrating. So, like, I am 1 life short of being able to tap, make this, gain 4 life, gain another 4 life, and, like, start doing my thing. I think this is the point that I lose. I don't really have good attacks. I would have pretty good attacks if, like, you know, my lord was on. Brutal. Alright. So, my opponent has multiple creatures that are just better in combat than mine are. I kind of have to hope that they fizzle out in terms of gas. But don't know if that's actually going to happen because my opponent can tutor for the thing that's green on the back that I don't remember the name of. Yeah, the Cauldron. And the Cauldron can return up to 2 creatures, lands, or planeswalkers from graveyard to hand. That can return, yeah. That returns a Kiora and a Karn. The Kiora will untap the Nykthos. The Karn will get them more gas. And believe at some point that does become an infinite loop. Where if you have multiple Karns and Kioras, you can just keep looping them. Alright, there's a Storm the Festival. Okay, that was not a good Storm the Festival, but my opponent can just flash it back. They have a ton of mana. There's another Karn. Oh, I am now at 30 life. Why did I gain life? Where did I gain that life? Does that Cauldron thing give me life? Each player gains 4 life. Okay, cool. So my creatures are bigger. Alright, sure. Going to be a 1 billion mana. Meteor Golem kills my Righteous Valkyrie. And then my creatures aren't huge anymore. Alright, there's the flashback of Storm the Festival. Okay. That wasn't particularly strong. It's just more mana. But, like, there's another one to flashback. Okay. That's, again, totally reasonable. Worth a card on Kiora. Just in terms of raw power on battlefield, I'm woefully behind here, and I'm about to lose my other important creature, the Sky Sovereign, at some point in the turn. Immediately. That's not great. I think at this point, even if opponent fizzles, I am really, really, really at a disadvantage. I just eat 14. I could double chump block with Mutavaults and pray that I can get something that puts me over 26 life as my draw. Guess I can use a Spirit to chump as well. Yeah. Let's animate this and block both of these. Take 6, go to 26, pray. Don't really know. Well, I could also block with the Skyclave. Alright. That keeps my life total at a reasonable level, I guess. But like God Pharaoh statue is like absolutely a thing as well. Not hopeful here. Like this can also just be animated as a blocker too. All right. I'll eat my 1. I'm still at exactly 27. I needed something there, but just to like show off this interaction, I can tap this, make a 4/4, gain 4 life. If I still had this other thing in play, it would have been even better. But I think I just eat too much damage here, and my opponent gets another chance to just go off. I'm gonna throw in the towel there. All right. I like these cards that stop the storm aspect of my opponent's deck. I'll probably do Deafening Silence, Archon of Emeria, and call it good. How do I feel about the Book of Exalted Deeds? My opponent has almost no options to actually remove my creatures. There's a Meteor Golem. Once that Meteor Golem's been used, the book is respectable. I feel awkward about Skyclaves because they answer some important things, but they miss things like the Cavaliers. I probably have to keep my creature density relatively high if I'm going to board in 5 non-creature spells. So a bunch of opponent stuff having reach is not great for me either. Like maybe I can actually get my angels online this game. I'm gonna go down on these. I'm not sure if that's correct, but I feel like if I win these, I'm winning this with tribal synergy because my opponent is just going to go bigger than I can go over time. Isn't great. This is just fully reliant on the top of the deck. It has a relevant hate card. A little awkward for me to play it out, but it has a relevant hate card. I don't think this wins, so I'm going to mulligan. On 5, I will keep. A Collected Company goes back, and I think a Resplendent Angel goes back. That is rough. I was just kind of hoping to keep a hand that had like one of my aggressive 2-drops, and that is not happening. I very much need to hit a land drop in my first 2 draws. I don't know, maybe I just want land drops to hit Coco and hope Coco digs me out of this. All right, second Deafening Silence. Definitely impactful here. All right. Cool. I have missed out on my land drop to play Archon, which is much better than Deafening Silence. Much better than Deafening Silence. Because this is more than one spell, whereas this is more than one non-creature spell. Yeah. Like, we're definitely seeing that here, where my opponent can just, like, go into a creature. I think I'm still in this if I hit land drop into land drop. I have to use the green side of this so that I can potentially play Coco next turn. This means a Nykthos would enter tapped. But my... Yep, there we go. But my position's not great, because, yeah. Oh no, and that hit Storm the Festivities with that, because the other ones go into Graveyard. Disgusting. Yep, and for playing the green side of that, I get punished for drawing that. Cool. I am losing my mind. So, this Nykthos activation is very good. That just gets my opponent to Storm. Okay. In good news, I guess it only found the mana. But I take 9 damage here. Yeah. Yeah. Untapped land or bust. And I guess maybe I could get super lucky in combat somehow and do a thing. Or my opponent has no cards with text on them. Yeah, you can only play 1 spell. Okay. I will cast this Coco on my opponent's turn, I believe. Kinda have to get a little lucky. Like, the good news is I have Coco into Coco. The bad news is, like, my opponent practically has infinite mana. What you got? This is good. This is just, like, another, like, thing that gets to attack this turn to attempt to, put lethal into play. Alright. Go, go. So, is my creature going to enter with counters? Flash does that matter? I guess I'm taking one of those basically no matter what. I guess let's figure out how this interaction works. I do not get counters. Is it because it says you already control? Probably. So that one has trample. I could do a trade on that land. I could do a chump block there. Take 5 and then keep my opponent from casting another spell. I'm just like not digging myself out of this though by taking that line. My opponent has a Storm the Festivities in graveyard. I don't know. They've already activated Nissa. Maybe I take the risk and try to keep this in play and do something broken. Sure. I just like really do not like my odds though. All right, another Nykthos. That's cool. So another Storm the Festivities happens, and I think at that point I'll just concede. We're 0-4, but I have not seen my deck do its thing yet. I'm gonna play one more round. Okay, I don't like that I have 2 Book of Exalted Deeds in hand, because like one of those is absolutely just a dead card. But I do have like 2 different 2-drops in my hand that are reasonable. I will keep this hand, and we'll see where this goes. Okay. Not really what I'm looking for right now. I just want more lands. Because if this creature eats it to a removal spell, my hand becomes very bad. Okay, sure. It's technically a land. Not quite the land I would have asked for. But next turn can look pretty damn good if I don't get disrupted here. Ooh, we got a lot of colors over there. What am I looking at? Jeskai Ascendancy. Okay. We'll see where this goes. Jeskai Ascendancy does not tend to be a fair Magic the Gathering card. Oh, wait, hold on. Hold on. This is Vigilant, for one thing. Really awkward that I can't just Jeskai Ascend or Skyclave Apparition that thing away. This is the newly controlled one, right? Alright, yeah. So let's animate this. Crash in for 4. Drop my opponent's life total relatively significantly. And my Valkyrie's not really going to grow because I don't have another angel in hand, so I think I just play... The Bishop of Wings is not an angel. I guess I will play this card then. Yeah, mana has been surprisingly awkward for what is essentially a monocolored deck. Like, these things entering tapped has been rough. Alright. So, like, there's treasure cruises and stuff available in this format that, like, you can use Jeskai Ascendancy to fuel. That's not the draw I am hoping for here. Again, I don't have true... I don't have true white-white, or white-white-white, for that matter. Yeah, this is super awkward. I actually can't play most of my spells. Maybe this hand was a mulligan after all. Yeah, battle. Opponent goes to 10, but I am really not in good shape here. I guess, like, I can just, like, draw another land, crash in for 6, and go from there or whatever. Alright. I am going to lose my creature here. Like, I have another one in hand that I can play, so, like, that's kind of whatever, but losing my board presence isn't really good for me. Alright, play the white side of that. And I think I just want to get rid of the Jeskai Ascendancy over the Portable Hole. Like, I'm going to assume the card is built around this, or the deck is built around that card, and just take it out. Like, absolutely could be wrong. It could just be ancillary value, but, like, Jeskai Ascendancy is not traditionally in your deck for fair reasons. A lot of removal. I guess with this one, I think I actually wait on Skyclave for a turn. I guess my sequencing is this. Bishop of Wings into this to gain the life. And then I can work on, like, getting the book going as well. I have no idea what's coming in Naya colors. A March of Otherworldly Light, absolutely. So, like, what's going on over there? Are is this just, like, a 5-color control deck? I guess I haven't seen black yet. Yeah, I'll take that hit, absolutely. And, yeah. I feel like my opponent might have some sort of, like, Settle the Wreckage type card. I think I'm gonna play this Angel pre-combat. And then attack with this. I don't think I'm gonna attack with the Mutavault. Alright, get in there. Okay, no. Sure. So now it starts to become like, do I play out more creatures into potential wraths? Say potential wraths because I don't know for sure. Like if my opponent's playing things like Expressive Iterations, card like Supreme Verdict get a little worse. What's under this one? Skyclave's under that one. I can go ahead and exile that. Get back a Skyclave. Exile that. Get back my legendary friend. Get a +1/+1 counter. Alright. I still don't know whether or not I need to play around something like Settle the Wreckage. If I don't, I'm in awesome shape. Alright, yeah. I was thinking Treasure Cruise, Dig Through Time was the answer. Maybe both. Yeah, these don't get to rumble in combat. My flyers do. I guess there's worlds where I can send in the Mutavaults as well. So many, 1-drop removal spells. Alright. So I can animate both of these. If my opponent blocks 1, they take 6. I don't need to crash in. Go ahead and play out one of these books and just, like, wait until I can do a lethal attack in one go that doesn't cost me my onboard creatures. Like, getting a Skyclave blocked and just losing it in combat and giving my opponent another body doesn't feel great. Alright, so it seems like my opponent is playing just an absolute ton of cheap removal spells, and then maybe both Dig Through Time and Treasure Cruise. Like, looking at the deck now, I don't think Jeskai Ascendancy was there for combo reasons. Like, it feels like it's there for graveyard synergy. It's like my opponent has, yeah. So it might be, like, Digs and Expressive Iterations. Like, Dig and Expressive Iteration as, like, the card advantage package makes sense to me. But I haven't really seen my opponent's way to win yet. Okay, there's another Expressive Iteration. Okay, that's just a land. I guess there's worlds where I, like, wait and vomit a whole bunch of things into play at the same time. But I'm gonna just play out my stuff. I'm not really all that far away from threatening a lethal swing. And with, like, this one in particular, having this in play and then gaining a little bit of life actually puts me in really good shape. Yeah, there is another Jeskai Ascendancy. See if my opponent can do something unfair with it. Sylvan Awakening until your next turn. Oh, fuck. Oh, no. Alright. There's the unfair thing. So, now the Jeskai Ascendancy broken shit happens. I think I lost this game potentially by not just immediately activating the book on Righteous Valkyrie. Okay. Noted. Going to be very boring. But I think I am dead pretty quickly, so I don't think that actually matters. So I can block 4 things. So I can block 1, 2, 3, 4. I am already taking 16 damage. That's essentially lethal, right? I block 4 of these, 5, 10, 15, 20. I am not going to make my opponent click through that. I will go ahead and concede there. Okay, now I know what opponent is doing. Shaper's Sanctuary seems insane. My opponent has so much 1-for-1 removal. And there's varying degrees of petty and or cute I can be in terms of sideboarding. I guess what do I really not want? The Brutal Cathars don't seem particularly potent. I don't super like the Skyclaves. They answer a Jeskai Ascendancy, which is cool, but they're a liability in terms of giving my opponents creatures they otherwise wouldn't have. So I kind of like the idea of boarding some number of those out for some amount of this stuff. How do I feel about the book? Opponent does have a lot of removal, but like gaining 3 life should not be hard. Maybe I cut 1 or something. I in theory like my collected companies, but I am boarding in an absolute ton of non-creature spells. I guess by similar logic, I could also go down on this. Like, I like Collected Company versus the control deck, but, like, they have a combo finish that I also kind of need to respect, so, eh. Okay, I need more mana. That said, I probably keep this hand. I think I play... Oh, because I want to play this on turn 1. I guess I will pay the life for this, despite the fact that that's a little awkward. But I try to treat this like a control deck for the first portion of this game. All right, fantastic. I guess I'm good with playing the white side of this anyway, though. So let's play Speaker of Heaven and a Deafening Silence. I feel very good about my situation as of right now. See what my opponent's got. Ooh, Sylvan Caryatid. Absolutely. That makes sense. I'm going to safely play Mutavault here. Drop this creature. Gain my 1 life. And start working towards, like, 24 life. Or sorry, 27 life to start doing the cool things. There is a Jeskai Ascendancy. So, like, there is absolutely some urgency if my opponent can answer this. Otherwise, everything is totally fine. All right. So play Resplendent Angel. Gain my life. That puts me to 22. And I can go ahead and continue to bash in with this creatures. This puts me at 23. Not quite at a high enough life total to do cool things. Oh, opponent messed up. They had an opt. They could have blocked and killed my speaker. All right. Guess I will be happy about that and more cognizant of that in the future. All right, Portable Hole. That can hit my Deafening Silence. All right, so I'll want to find another relevant card here. All right. Life's bad. One is like trying to loot away lands, just continue to find more cantrips. What is Radiant Flames? X damage to each creature. Yeah, so it's like a, assuming 3 colors spent, it's like a board wipe for X3s, sure. All right, another Sylvan Caryatid goes to the bin. All right. Okay. That's bad. I assume that kills me. So at 23, I have 2 blockers. Actually, those have to become over 10/10s to kill me. Now, maybe there's a world where I'm still alive. But, like, mana is very much not an issue for my opponent anymore. So, you know. I think at this point, I'm just going to cut to the next relevant thing. Because this is mechanically going to take a while. And probably not be interesting from a viewer standpoint. Alright, fast forwarding a minute or so here. My opponent has played 2 removal spells on my creature. Meaning at this point, once they untap all of these creatures, they have more than enough to actually just kill me. So rather than make them click further, because it seems like they're going to play around a removal spell here, I am just going to concede. And this is a rare 0-5 league, where we only put up a single game win in the last round. Overall thoughts on the deck list? Not playable. I think if I mulliganed only to hands that had either a Giada and a Youthful Valkyrie and a bunch of angels, like, that this could have been reasonable. Like, that you can't... Sorry, let me rephrase that. I think if you have Youthful Valkyrie hands or Giada hands, like, you can have totally reasonable aggressive hands, but, like, looking at how this deck list is put together, there are actually very few angels in this angel tribal deck, right? So it feels to me like this tribe is just like not quite there, or at least this configuration is not quite there. Like, there's absolutely cool synergies in these cards, but so often I just ended up kind of clunking around with combinations of cards that didn't quite work. And like some of these things have synergies with your angels, but when you draw Bishop of Wings and then a bunch of things like Skyclaves and Speaker of the Heavens, right? Like you're not quite doing things that are synergistic enough. So unlike something like Legacy Humans, where like literally every single card in the deck is a human, like that's just not true here. So I don't know if you want to go into blue for what is it, the Linvala the Shield something or other as like just another raw angel or what, or if there's other angels you can be playing. Like there's plenty of good angels that I can think of off the top of my head that either cost 4 or 5 mana, but if you do that, like you make Collect Company considerably worse. Um, yeah, I am just not happy with this deck list. I just don't think it quite fires off. Like Mutavault is awkward with like your white and triple white pip cards, although like I understand it being there as like a card that is like an angel and just like a little bit more value out of your lands. But this one doesn't do it for me. This was an absolute beating. And that is what it is. But you know, I expected more out of the deck when I looked at the deck list, and we just got fucking bodied. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed watching me get bullied. If you do, please click the like button. It might help, you know, get rid of some of my tears from playing this league. Have a great rest of the day, folks. I'll see you later.